Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a pretty significant update here with respect to the Brimstone team that was announced yesterday from Scopely themselves. Now, guys, got a lot of feedback, a lot of great comments from folks, being quite overjoyed that this could be a very good team to skip as they're a war team, right? Maybe if you guys have been following my channel, you know that I prioritize my arena and raid team. So obviously, whenever I see war, I do get a bit excited, or some PvP content, because it potentially could mean a team that we can skip, and that means saving gold, saving resources and materials, of course. But guys, and Boylan's already made an awesome video on this as well. Completely agree with his views. I'll link that down in the description below. I wanted to bring this to your attention because I don't think that this is a team that we can skip, guys. And very similar to what Boylan has also echoed in his video is that the reason being is because of the way that these chapters have been structured, right? If you recall, and this is right now filtered by all the chapter 1 and chapter 2 characters of the teams that have been fully released, and we know now Brimstone's going to complete the rest of this. They're just not added in game yet. So let me talk to you about the process and the order that this came to be, right? Remember, we started chapter 1 with Vigilante. This was followed up by the Thunderbolts team. And then we actually had an opportunity to skip a team in the Accursed, because guess what? I don't focus on Cosmic Crucible. So for me, when I saw that this third team was a Cosmic Crucible driven team, that's an opportunity for me to save a boatload of training materials and a lot of gold. Having said that, then we finally saw the release of Fantastic Four MCU, and you can't skip this team. I mean, if you want to get and you want to generate power cores every day in arena, you have to build up the arena team. And again, it was nice that chapter 1 really focused on the 2 game priorities that I really modeled my game after, which is raids and as well as arena, so that way I can be competitive, especially for events and flexibility in the future. Chapter 2 is where it gets really interesting, because we got a lot of insight on how Marvel Strike Force and Scopely transitions from one chapter to another. What was a surprise to us was that the Fantastic Four MCU team, as if they didn't have already so much value being one of the best teams in the game, they also started off chapter 2 Conquerors as the first team. So they were labeled as the last team to chapter 1 and the first team to chapter 2. Now, why this is important, guys, is because that's currently where Brimstone is slotted. So even if you think about the entirety of chapter 2 right now, we started off with Fantastic Four MCU. Then the next team was actually the Hellfire Club, which we love because, once again, this is a raid required team. We got to build them up every single day, and furthermore, there's a danger room around them, and obviously there's a lot of lore to the Hellfire Club, which I love. It was a big fan favorite. It was a huge hit. Then we had a back-to-back with Insidious, right? And most of us are waiting for that unlock right now because Hobgoblin's on the way. He's going to be added this week into the Animated Matter store. And on top of that, we also have Superior Spider-Man, who's also coming in, and he's joining the game today. So I'm obviously pretty pumped that this Insidious 6 team is also part of Raid. But what's really cool about them is the way that you can theory craft them into different War and Cosmic Crucible teams. So they actually have really good value. So far, Chapter 2 has been actually a huge hit, very similar to Chapter 1. We have basically 2 raid teams, and as well as the arena team that we've already built up from previously chapter 1. Now that's where it gets really interesting, because now we have things finishing off with Brimstone, and Brimstone is the last team to chapter 2. So this is an opportunity where everyone's thinking, oh my goodness, I've been building up so many teams. Finally, it's a chance for us to skip, similar to how we treated these Accursed team members when they got first released. But remember, the Accursed team, they were the 3rd team of chapter 1. They were not the last and final team, and that's where we have to caution now, guys. This Brimstone team coming into Marvel Strike Force. So I'm thinking about, the characters that are getting reworks like Elsa Bloodstone, and we have Doctor Strange Heartless. These characters are confirmed as reworks now, officially as part of this team. So they may not, although they're a war team, and although war may be a game mode you don't care about, we might not have a choice, because by skipping this team, there is a strong possibility, guys, based on how we've seen them transition, is that there is a likelihood that they're going to be required for the start of Chapter 3. So then the question you ought to be asking now isn't really about do you care about the Blastar events and building up Blastar and doing well in his Scourge, but also, do you care about the next legendary event? Which, well, a lot of folks have speculated as well and confirmed that it's going to likely be Thunderstrike, and we may be very well seeing some Asgardian reworks in the future here just to tie in with that. But if you care about the next legendary character, that is something that we can't skip, right? And for myself, I do care. They also seem to be, they're going to be the #1 war team in the game. And also what also helps is that a lot of these characters can be utilized as well in Age of X for the global hero section. So just something to think about in terms of just what we can maneuver around, right? If they are going to be confirmed to be the start of also Chapter 3, then we know, based on how we've seen in past events as well. And on that note, we have Quasar Trials actually starting today as well. And you can even see, oh, sorry, I thought the nodes were available. I guess they're not. But in the Quasar Trials, right, you always need to start off with the same team that you initially started with, which in this case was originally Vigilantes for Chapter 1, and then we had Fantastic Four MCU for Chapter 2. So there's a lot of value to be had, which is why it is a troubling issue, unfortunately, in the sense that many of us, myself included, thought it was going to be an opportunity where we can skip. But then thinking about it more and thinking about the transition to Chapter 3, they could very well be a team that we can't skip. And I'm not saying to build them up right now. I'm not saying that we should just, go holy moly on this and say, like, it's too bad, so sad, it is what it is. But we should at least wait for the confirmation. Very similar to what we've seen in the past chapters. But there does seem to suggest a strong possibility that we need to build this team. And it makes sense, right? If you think about Scopely and think about them as a business model, I mean, they're not going to intentionally have teams where you can skip. I think the one given skip was the release of the Secret Warriors, right? This was really more for giving the whales and the spenders a bone, right? Because of the fact that there was 4 characters already in game, and they could easily just add one to slot into the rest of them, and they're going to be a top. They're already going to be a top war team, as from what we can see from the play testing and so forth, and as well as the showcases. So yeah, anyways, guys, that's my 2 cents. Anyways, again, I'll link down Boilan's video down below if you guys want to see a deeper deep dive or a different kind of view on it. But in my honest opinion, I agree with everything he said. There is a strong chance that we may not be able to skip this team even if we want to, because if you care about the ongoing activities and if you care about the next chapter, and remember, every chapter is going to matter for how this leads into the stages for the unlock of Annihilus for his age. It's all going to matter in terms of them being required later on. So then for that reason, we have to get ahead on this as well and prepare accordingly, pivot where need be. But again, wait for that confirmation, guys. I'll be back to revisit this topic as well, but I just wanted to give you the heads up that, for those of you thinking to skip, you may not be able to, because if you care about what's going on with the game, if you care about the future unlock here of Annihilus, it all matters at the end of the day, which is very intentional from Scopely and Marvel Strike Force planning, right? So do let me know down in the comments below, guys. Are you happy? Are you unhappy? What are you planning to do? Do you care? I always love to hear back. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.